back, everybody. Any highlights from the long weekend? Nothing we can talk about in class? Cool. Well, excited to have you all here for our first on-court session today. Just a couple quick notes about how these classes are going to work. So we'll have concepts. We'll typically talk in the beginning of class, like we'll usually have a media review presentation. We'll do a little bit of discussion about the assigned media due for the day. Then when we get on the court, I'll introduce concepts. There will usually be things that will, either shell with no defense or stuff where we're not going full speed. For all of you that are interested in participating, would love to have you on the court participating. Towards the end, we may have like something a little bit more competitive, or we'll evolve the concept that we're teaching and developing into a small-sided game or full-sided game. You are never obligated to participate in the full-speed stuff that we do. So if you're comfortable, if you want to play, if you want to participate, awesome. If you don't, not a big deal. And if we ever don't have enough people, we can shell what the competitive piece is for you guys. So keys here are, I want it to be engaging and fun. So you guys are probably here because you like basketball at least a little bit. So the more we can play basketball or be active, I want us to be able to do that stuff. But on the flip side, I know some of you guys play other sports. I know some of you may not be totally comfortable jumping in, participating in a competitive setting. Totally fine, but I want us to maximize what we can get out of both of those perspectives this semester. So first thing, let me dive in with just run through, make sure I've got everybody. Attendance: Caden, yup. Dylan, great. Sam, saw you. Nick Brooks, today. Austin, great. Jared, saw you, great. Samantha, Cam, Brendan, great. Zach, Ian, yeah, great. Nathan, I saw you. Did I see you? Missed you in the front. Eric, saw you walking in, great. Andrew, saw you. Yep. Katie Phillips. No Katie. All right. Summer. Josh. Anna and Owen. Wonderful. All right. So today, guys had 4 podcasts we were supposed to listen to. So we had the 3 shorter perception action podcasts on the constraints-led approach, and then we had the Alex Sarema basketball podcast about kind of implementing that in a specific way for basketball. So just opening it up, wide open in the beginning. What'd you guys think? Anything interesting, different, stuff that stood out for you? Bold enough to get us going. All right, Hannah, I'll kick it to you. What did you think?
You want me to read off my?
We'll let you go. So you had the first Perception Action podcast. So.
Yeah.
Give us your general overview, what you thought, and then we'll kick it to some discussion questions.
Okay, so the CLA is constraint-led approach, and what it is it identifies internal and external factors to improve performance. There's 3 types, so there's task, which is your goals, rules such as double dribble, or your equipment. And then there's environmental, so that's weather, playing surface, whether that's the grass, the length of the grass, or the speed of the wind. And then there's individual, so there's the physical capabilities. So some of that would be your height, stuff like that. And then game-based training is it allows athletes to experiment and discover solutions instead of just direct instructions. So kind of the traditional approach of And then constraints can be slow to change or fast to change. So like something that would be slow to change is like if you want to change your weight, that's slower. But like a fast change would be like changing defense on the court. That can just happen quick. And then time-independent constraints promote stability, and then high time-dependent require adaptability. That was kind of one of the quotes within the podcast. And then one thing that I found interesting was that like not every feature of the environment is a constraint. It all depends on like the task that's being performed. And then, for example, like a constraint that is environmental is like the wind, and that would have more effect on football because if you're trying to throw the football, the wind might affect that. But like if you were playing field hockey, the ball's normally on like the grass, so the grass may be more of a constraint than the wind will. And then one of the big things was like how an athlete interprets a constraint matters because everybody can interpret things differently. So that was just one of the interesting things that I found. And then do you want me to ask my question?
Go for it.
Okay. Please someone answer it so I'm not just sitting here. But what are the 3 types of constraints? That's the first one.
So here's a hint. She gave you all 3.
I know.
Environmental constraint. Tell us what is an environmental constraint?
Something that the environment constraints like grass or wind, like she was saying.
Exactly. So it primarily affect you in an outdoor sport. So are you on turf versus are you on grass? Is it windy? Is it rainy? Is the sun in your eyes? All things like that that may affect you at some point playing the sport, but not all the time. These are constraints. Sometimes we intentionally put them in, so maybe we set our practice time so we're working on playing when the sun in our eyes might be a factor because we know at some of the game times we play great. So environmental's one. Who's got another?
Yeah.
Time. So time would be, it would fall under one of these 3 main headers. So we've got environmental. What would time fall under?
I was just going to give you another one.
What do you got?
It was physical constraint, one of them, or no?
Like individual.
Not exactly, but individual.
So like the physical capabilities is what
Yeah, so taking it one step further, even more than just the physical, it's the things that make us different. So in basketball, being 7 feet tall is going to help you. Being 5'2" makes it more of a challenge. But other things that can have an impact are cultural backgrounds. So this is an old movie. So have you guys ever seen the movie Bend It Like Beckham? Or do you guys know what I'm talking about if I say that? So it's about a girl from a Muslim family who loves soccer, but she's got some additional constraints because of her cultural background that prevent her from being able to just engage with the sport in the way that everybody else does. Her parents have different expectations. She has different like religious requirements for what she wears at different times. And so all of that stuff, those would be individual constraints that you as the coach would have to find a way to kind of help that athlete maximize. So we help short players overcome being short on a basketball court. We also might have some outside things, you know. I've worked with kids in the past who like, you know, they come to practice but they haven't eaten all day because there was nothing at home, you know, their family was in. And you just kind of expect kids are gonna be ready to go, but all of a sudden, like these kids who love basketball, who wanna play, you know, they aren't really running hard, they're doing it. You think, oh, maybe they have a bad attitude. No, they haven't eaten all day. It's crazy. So all of that would fall under individual constraints. Then the one we haven't mentioned, and Ryle, this is the one that time would fall under. This is the one that we're mainly gonna work with in a coaching capacity. Sam? Task constraints. So task constraints would be manipulating anything about the actual game. So that could be time. Maybe we want to work on short shot clock situations, so we put 12 seconds on the shot clock, so we got to be really fast with our action and get a shot off. The number of players on the court makes a difference. So if you have 3 players on the court, there's more space to work with, but everybody has to move even faster, anticipate even sooner, because there's more ground that they have to cover, you know, on both offense and defense. You can adjust the rules. You can adjust the scoring. All of these things you can manipulate try and get your athletes to focus on the things that you want to be the focus of your practice. Does that make sense? So in a traditional practice, right, it's scripted, the coach is kind of dictating everything that happens. So the focus of what a drill is the coach telling you what that is. In a game-based model using the constraints-led approach, we might want to focus on shooting, but we're not just directly saying we're working on making more shots. It's we're putting these constraints in place that are helping our athletes recognize when it's a good time to take a shot. Maybe we're changing the value of what those shots are worth, so they start to associate a higher value with what we consider to be a better shot in the game. All of those would be task constraints.
Want me to do my next question?
Go for it.
Okay, so if you were just listening to anything he said just barely, you'll be able to answer this. So, what is game-based training?
Cam.
Is it the training that allows the athletes to make in-time decisions based on
It's definitely part of it.
Like you work on game scenarios in practice, like you said, like the shot clock and like the space you have.
Yep, that's part of it too.
basically the coach tells you what you're doing and the athletes just kind of go do it and make their own solutions?
That's a part of it. I've got a really simple definition for this. It's training that mirrors what the actual game is. So, for those of you who've played basketball, right? Ball handling. Everyone's done stationary ball handling. We're dribbling here, we're dribbling two basketballs, we're dribbling back and forth. That's not game-based training because it's not really what you do in the game. If you've done drills, like I've had coaches that have done warm-up drills where it's 3-man weave all the way down into a 2-on-1, 3-on-2. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I've literally never seen anyone do a 3-man weave in a game on a basketball court. It's unrealistic. So essentially, instead, what game-based training would say, and the science behind it would say, is instead of doing a layup drill that isn't directly translatable to an actual basketball game, create a situation that mimics what athletes would actually experience in a game, where they'd have to make some sort of decision. There's usually defense involved, and then they've got to make a read, and then they can kind of reflect on their outcome to adjust the next time they do it. So I've got a couple examples for you in our practice plan today that will do that. So thank you, Hannah. Clap it up for Hannah. Great question. What about the Alex Sorema podcast? Any thoughts, any insights on that one? So hey, I'll give it to us. Maybe we're just shy today. Maybe it's been a long way back from the long weekend, or maybe a lot of us didn't actually listen to the media for the class today. Not calling anybody out, but this is not going to be a super involved class in terms of the effort you're going to have to put in compared to your other classes. But for it to be engaging, you do have to actually interact with the media. So there may be some pop quizzes moving forward. There may be some elements like that. It is not just the person who's doing the media review's responsibility to listen to the media for that given class. I want us to have discussions, and for you guys to take something away from this. I think the media that we've curated for the class is really valuable. So hopefully we can have a more engaging discussion on the next one. Yes, Hannah?
I heard from the podcast, so the coach from Texas Tech was kind of talking about in the beginning, that it's kind of like hard to get back in the swing of things. And one of the issues that they came across was that like one of her players was like trying to get her possession. She couldn't come back, so that can kind of like be a constraint in a way. Not being able to like be with the team because she can't get here.
Nice connection. Yeah, so you might have international students on your team or that you're working with as a coach, or that maybe you're a teammate with. Some of the things they deal with are things that maybe you haven't had to think about as an American citizen. So visa issues, maybe there are subtle language barriers, maybe even your international student colleagues have a really strong grasp of the English language, but there's certain slang that they use that may not be appropriate. I can give you an example. So my first coaching job was at, it's called Houston Christian now, but it was Houston Baptist University in Houston, Texas, which if any of you are familiar with it, for somebody who grew up here, like different world down there, man. Really small school, had been NAIA for a long time, transitioned to NCAA. We had a Brazilian player on the team who was our best player. 6'8", really skilled, could do a lot of things. But this school was really conservative, really buttoned up. And one big thing I learned when I went down there about the Baptist faith is people who adhere to the Baptist religion don't drink alcohol. That is a big no-no. What I also learned is pretty much everybody I worked with did drink alcohol. They just didn't want anybody to know that they drank alcohol. But our Brazilian player had gone to a junior college in New Mexico, and he learned English from a lot of his teammates at the junior college. And so on his visit with our head coach, who was a very buttoned up, proper Baptist man, he wanted to ask about the culture of the school, and he said, "So, coach, tell me, players on your team, get fucked up?" And our poor head coach, he was so uncomfortable in that moment. But that could be another example of a constraint that you might have in a situation. So, all right, you guys want to play some basketball? Awesome. Everybody who wants to participate, hop up. We're going to break this into two parts today. The first part is going to be skill development, and the second part is going to be kind of tactical development. So first thing we're going to do, everybody grab a partner. Everybody who wants to participate, grab a partner. Oh, you have on this? Okay, right. Grab a partner, you need one basketball between you. I'll go get a ball. I'm glad we have so many people who want to participate. Let's spread out. So I'm going to demonstrate this basket. We can use other baskets in here. So let's have like 3 pairs of partners add a basket. Finishing. That's going to be our skill. So, last class we talked about the purpose of offense. We're trying to create advantages in service of getting the highest value shots. What is an advantage? Tell me what an advantage is. Okay. Yeah, having a numerical advantage. So, a 1-on-0, a 2-on-1, a 3-on-2, anything that puts us in an advantage situation where offense has a numerical advantage compared to the defense. So, on offense, we're going to start trying to create an advantage, but then after we create that advantage, we have to maintain it until we get that high value shot. So, this finishing situation that we're going to talk about, I call it one-on-one ahead. We're working on maintaining our advantage and finishing. So, in this scenario, the offensive player has already beaten the defensive player. We don't need to create an advantage, we just need to maintain it. So, do you guys mind demonstrating for me? So on this court, we've got, ignore the blue dots, let's use the yellow dots for now. So, yellow dots place randomly around, different depth, different angles. We're gonna have you guys move, so Jared, pick whichever yellow dot you want. Great. Yep, and so you're gonna start in a split stance. So Caden, pick one side. You're gonna pick either side of Jared to start. So you're gonna start on this side. Jared, you're going to start in a split stance, so put your foot that's closest to Caden back, and you're going to put your front foot right next to Jared's front foot. So, what we're simulating here, you've beaten him. But in basketball, an advantage, you might have 0.2 of a second right here. You slow down or you stop, Caden's going to catch it. So you've got to maintain this advantage, you've got to go full speed, you've got to get to the basket and finish. So things that we're looking for, coaching points that I would give with this would be, we want you to go full speed. We want you to take an angle that keeps Caden behind. So if you go out and you loop it all, if he has the straight line, he's going to catch you. So if you're going to do anything, you want to go into his back to keep him behind you. and we want you to get your hands free to the backboard to finish. So if you can keep them behind, your hands will definitely be free, but if you put the ball back here to shoot, you can take it away. You want to keep it as far away from him, so your outside hand, and you're probably going to want to extend and finger roll at the rim. Ready to demonstrate? So, sorry, last piece. Kate, you can't move until Jared moves. So, that's the defensive instruction. You're fighting to get back in this play. Go. Good. Oh, excellent. So we missed the layup, right? And that's the natural reaction to that. Is, oh, we got there, we missed it. But as a coach, you did everything I want, right? It was game like. You had to go full speed. You went full speed. You got your hands free to the backboard. You're going to be able to make that shot. If you're going slower and making the shot, it's not going to be game speed. It's not going to be realistic. So that's what we want. After that, you guys will switch and find a different dot. So okay, now you go wherever you want. Find a different dot. Score this. A make is 1 point. We're going to play for 2 minutes. Whoever has the most points at the end of 2 minutes wins. For those of you that don't have dots, move around randomly. Don't always be beyond the 3-point line. Start inside the 3-point line at some point. I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock. I'm going to ask for winners at the end. Play. Everybody bring it in. You don't have to go all the way into this half. Bring it like, at least we're surrounding this half court. Raise your hand if you won your game. You scored more points than your opponent. Clap it up for our winners. What did you guys recognize there? What came into focus for you as the drill went on?
Yeah, me personally as a defender, I didn't touch the ball. Like when I was trying to go defend him, I didn't get it once.
Because he was going full speed every day. Well done.
I agree.
Yeah. So, offensive players who went full speed, who took a good angle, were able to maintain the advantage. Great. How was finishing? Did we finish? Let's go. Thumbs up. It was really good. Thumbs in the middle. It was okay. Thumbs down. It was kind of rough. He's got some thumbs up, a lot of thumbs in the middle. Good. For thumbs in the middle people, were you going full speed? Was a little harder to calibrate at the end when you were going full speed? Yeah. So to me, like, that's good learning, right? Like, we're talking about this game-based training with constraints. Like, it's gonna be messier than what a traditional practice would look like. But if you're going full speed, that's what it's gonna have to be in the game if you don't wanna get blocked. So, we're going full speed, great. Now, what can we tweak, what can we adjust to make that finish a little bit easier? Is it our angle? Is it where we get our hands? Do we maybe take our last step a little bit shorter than the steps before to give us that extra space to get where we want to be able to release it? All of those things are things that you can guide as a coach. But if you want to see real progress, this is what it's going to be, and it's going to be best. But how many of you have ever been in a competitive basketball practice when you've heard a coach say, "We're missing all these layups"? I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. And it's like, like if they made all the layups, they wouldn't need us. If they made all the shots, they wouldn't need us. Like, they're gonna miss a bunch. We want it to be hard enough that they don't make it all the way. We'll talk later in the semester about, kind of how we want to adjust the level so it's not too hard, it's not too easy, but we're in a place where we're actually working. All right, next skill development piece for you guys. Can I get everybody on the baseline for this one? So this is the most basic, foundational, I won't call it a drill, but shooting situation that I set up just to get us in the flow of what we do. So can I get one pair, a group of two to pop out here really quick? Wonderful. I need one of you starting at that blue dot right there, and one of you starting with the basketball, the blue dot up top. So for shooting at our most basic level, what we want is some sort of decision, a reaction, and then we want a reflection. That's the way we're going to see some actual development in our shooting. So we don't have any defense here. When you start, you're going to drive to the basket. You're either going to go to the left side of the basket or the right side. Like you're going to take layup, you're not actually going to take layup. And same, you're going to read it. So whichever way he goes, you're going to relocate off the ball. So if he comes to his right, you're going to slide to the corner, catch and shoot, bring it back. And if it goes left, you're going to fill behind as a reversal option. Same thing, great outside pivot, love it. Already there, ready to catch and shoot. So let's do it live one time. Do it after the first rep, switch. When we're mixing it up, you've got to read it, remove it, great, the right way to the corner, catch it, shoot it. Oh. Switch, and go up top. Go whichever way you want. Fill behind, excellent. So, this would be the most basic, but who can tell me why it's game-like? What's game-like about this, even though it has no defense? Yeah, so we've got to make a read, right? So the shooter is not just standing in the same place. Like, if we have a shooting gun, we can kind of be mindless, just sit here, oh, I got another one. But you're never going to stand in the same place and just shoot over and over and over again. In a game, realistically, you're probably going to have to move, or the ball could be coming from a totally random spot. So this is the most basic piece. After this, we probably want to add Let's do this one quickly. Break out the baskets. If there were multiple groups in the same basket, just kind of line up behind each other. We'll go afterwards, but thumbs down, still have no idea what's going on. Great, good. A little bit, yeah, mostly good. What I saw was you guys were moving, you were connecting. That's a foundational, the tactical piece. Like if somebody drives, we're gonna want to relocate off the ball, give them a passing lane in case they get stopped. But then we're also moving, we're getting ready to shoot. We're having to think a little bit. It's the most basic kind of decision. Just gotta move a little bit and be ready to shoot it. So we would scale that up by adding more players. So we have a third player in there. Now we can require 2 passes, and then we gotta have 3 people connected, moving together. And then we can throw defense in there so we could read, okay, is this a good shot? Is it contested? Maybe we want to move it again, or maybe we want to rip on the pass and just close out something like that. All of these, this I would say is probably the most foundational shooting drill that I do in this, because you have to decide on really, really simple. Any questions? Any thoughts about that? Does it kind of make sense how the, or actually, let me ask you this: what was the constraint? What was the task constraint in that shooting drill? So I, as the coach, said you had to do something to be able to shoot 4-1. Sam. So it was 1 pass and shot, so that was part of it. Yep. Movement. So somebody had to move off the ball. So if you were going to do this competitively, what I might say is, we're counting mates, we're playing against each other in different baskets, but your basket doesn't count if you don't move or if you don't move enough. So what I get sometimes with players is practices drag on. Instead of turning their hips, sprinting, getting where they need to be, relocating aggressively, we'll get a little bit of like, that's on the coach to fix, hey, how to relocate the way you want, at the speed you want. We're going to move into the tactical piece. We've got about 15 minutes left of class here. Anybody who wants to participate, can I get a line with basketballs? This blue dot right here, a line without basketballs, that blue dot, and another line without basketballs, that blue dot. If you don't want to participate in this one, let's stand on the baseline. Stan, you mind hopping up on the baseline for us with this one? Great. So let's balance these lines a little bit. Got a lot of folks with basketballs in the middle. Maybe some of you guys drop the balls. Stayed out this way. Great. So we're going to continue on this. Tactically, we're going to work on cutting today. So we'll dive into this as we'll have a class specifically on cutting. But the way I would give constraints for cutting, we've got these 3 dots. We're going to do 2 things. We're going to cut and we're going to fill. A cut is movement without the basketball to the basket. A fill is movement along the perimeter without the basketball. So right now this is no dribble. We're not dribbling at all. Rather, you're going to have the basketball, but we're not dribbling. So that's the change. Like you're not going to dribble, you're not going to drive it at all. Just working on it. These are the 3 spots you have. So if you cut, I want you to replace the open dot. So we want to pass it wherever you want. Cut towards the basket. As this happens, great. We're going to cut and fill at the same time. Riley, as soon as you know you're not going to get it, I want you to find the open dot. So we're just going to play with these top ones. I've got these baseline ones in here. I don't think we're going to have time to get to those today, but if we were going to advance or if we were going to go 4-on-4, what I would want is cuts. I want straight line cuts as fast as possible. So here's what I want. We want full speed on cuts, and that means to the X's. So a lot of times what'll happen is, think about cutting, I'll pass the same. I'll cut really hard, I know I'm not gonna get it. And then no, we want that same intensity to get out, because we've got to create that same space for our next teammate who might have an opportunity to get it in the middle. So full speed on that. You gotta get 2 cuts. The only time you're gonna cut here is if you have a teammate on both sides. So Rob, if you wanna hop up and stay in this group right here. You guys will go first. So, because I'm giving you these 3 dots, where's the only spot we're going to cut from in this? So you can only cut if you have a teammate on both sides. Great, the middle is the only spot you're going to cut from. Now that'll change if we open up and we use those dots or we use the corners. Now there'll be more spots you might be able to cut from the wing. You might even be able to cut from the corner if you pass it to the baseline. But all of that gets a little more complex. This is the basics of cutting. So what you guys have to get, you have to get 2 cuts, and you can score on your second cut. Let's see you figure it out. Go, as fast as you can. 1 cut. Great. Second cut, you can score. Hey. That's all right. Same group. Go again. Right from there. Play. Go. There's 1. Good. There's our second. Oh, we could have had it. 3. All right. So freeze. Couple things. If I'm coaching that, anybody have any idea what feedback I might give on that?
Maybe get closer to the basket.
So what kind of shot are we looking for in this? A layup. There's no defense, right? Get that shot as we want. We want to score on what cut? Second cut. So we want to be more aware and more alert. Hey, you know we're scoring on that second cut? Let's get that one there. And then what about our spacing? I've given you something that moves up where you guys go. What is that? The dots. Yeah. So I think we can get a little sharper getting to those dots. Next group, let's see it. Play. Good. Second cut. Better. Good. Right into this group. 1, almost never going to score on the first cut right from the top. One of the big places, Josh, can I sub in for you really quick? So we're going to add one thing here, the dribble out. So if someone dribbles into your space, immediate backdoor cut, other person fills. So if I dribble at Sam, Sam's going back, and Kate's filling. Great, right like that. Perfect. So where the advantage comes from, Kate, why don't you just up over here for me? Great. We want this cut to be hard. A lot of times I'll say stay ball side on cuts, but we're not playing with those dots, so find your one other. On this fill cut, on this dribble out, you have the space for a backdoor cut. So let's do that one time. So I dribble out, I've got it. Sam's here, backdoor cut, right to the basket. That's one of the main ways we're going to get our advantage cutting. We start to move kind of horizontally. So now you're going to get two cuts, one dribble at, then get a layup. And you can do it any order you want. You can start with the dribble out, you can start with the cut, whatever you want. I'll call it out as you go. Play. One cut. Good. Dribble out, good. All right, we need one more cut. One more cut before we can score. There's our cut. Got it. Score. Well done. Well done. Next group. Right into it. Right into it. Here we go. This. There's one cut. Good. There's our dribble out. Good. Okay. Yup. Fill up. Great. One more cut. Fuck. Eddie, what would be my criticism of your cut on that last one? So the constraints I laid out at the beginning, when do we want to cut?
When you get the ball. Or when you pass the ball.
Not exactly. A lot of times it happens right after you pass the ball. Who can help me? Sam.
Between two teammates.
When you're between two teammates, so you're on the wing over here, and the only reason we wouldn't want you to cut it down is if you go, we might get beaten up because there's nobody to fill in if we don't have anything on the opposite side of the floor. So, what we really want is the reverse pass right here, cut, then we score it. Next group. One cut. Dribble out. Good. All right, one more cut, now we score. Great. Great. Really efficient. Good job. Good job. Next group.
Well done. Well done, guys.
Next group. Now, good. Yep. Justin. Good. We got two cuts. Dribble out. Dribble out. All right, one more good one this way. Actually, hold up. Start your dribble out this time. Great. Start with the dribble out. Still need two cuts. Good. Right into it. Moving together. Good. There's one cut. Good fill. Good reversal. Yup. There it is. Good. We got it. Good. All right. Last now, next group pop up. On defense, if I ever come up at any point in the possession and I deny a pass, automatic backdoor, even if you have other stuff left, you don't have to finish it. Score off that. Start with the dribble out. You can start with the dribble out or a cut either way. There's one cut. Good. Good. Dribble out. Good. Now, backdoor. Well done. Well done. Good. Next group. Good. Dribble out. Good. Good. We got a cut. Good. And so Eddie, the next piece would be after you cut, we want you to find that open out a little bit faster and clear that space for the next guy. Good. One cut. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good. Yep. You got it. You got it. Where we go? Why would we not cut from there? But really, we only want to cut when? What's the constraint? We only want to cut when we got teammates on both sides. So right now, you're kind of the end point right here. So you would hold waiting for your fill. You guys have one cut, we need to dribble out one cut, play from here, go. We got our dribble out, yep, you can do that there. Dribble out, good. Denial. Great. And even if somebody comes into your space, automatic backdoor, find that open guy. Play. Good. Yep, go. So hey, same speed, quick focus, right? They move really fast. Jared moved really fast. There's all that full speed because you guys know from full speed. Really good job. Well done. Well done. Next group. Good. Oh, yep, that's all right. One cut. Good. 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 bleachers, we're out over there. So as the coach operating in this constraints-led approach framework, so we've just drilled 3-on-0. There's been freedom for athletes to explore, kind of see what makes sense, how it works, make reads. One of the big signs for learning that we're looking for, and it's adjusted mistakes without coach feedback. So I saw a bunch of this where somebody would start cutting and go, oh no, I can't cut right here, and then you'd back it up. In your mind, you might be thinking right now, oh, I made a mistake. I don't like that I made a mistake. To me, I'm like, no, that's learning. That's you adjusting, that's connecting. These are neurons firing in your brain that it's more likely you're gonna remember it, you're gonna get sharper with it as we go. So those are, in a traditional practice setting, might be considered a negative thing. I actually think it's a really positive thing. And then the evolution from the 3-on-0 into 3-on-3. What I would do is, we're playing 3-on-3 with no dribble. And the first game, typically what I do is I make a layup worth 3 points, a three-pointer worth 2, and anything else worth 1. That's kind of my standard scoring in a practice because layups are the best shot. And we want to incentivize fighting for those layups. The open threes would be next, and then anything mid-range would kind of be after that. So the first game we'd play, I kind of just let them go. I wouldn't give them a lot of feedback and just kind of see what's connecting and what's not as we go from a 3-on-0 structure into a 3-on-3 structure. But I'd be taking notes throughout the course of that. What are we missing? Are we not cutting hard enough? Are we not exiting hard enough? Are we late to make the reads when someone's dribbling out, or when we pass? Are we kind of standing and waiting? What are the most important things that we can adjust for the next game? And then, anyone want to take a guess what we do after we've decided on what the most important thing to work on is? I would say implement in a game. So we that 3-on-0 stuff. That to me is the CLA equivalent of drilling. So it's not me telling you exactly what to do, but it's here are the guidelines. Here's how you're going to be able to connect and play together. Things that are going to work most of the time. Now let's see you do it in the chaos of the actual game. And so once we get sharp with it, maybe we add a fourth player. Maybe we add in those 2 blue dots on the baseline so we have more spots that we can move in and out of. Or my favorite constraint is what I call the automatic turnover. If there's anything I'm seeing that in the 2-on-0 shooting drill we did, if someone's not moving, I would call it an automatic turnover. So if somebody doesn't move or doesn't move enough, the shot doesn't count when it goes in. In a game, we got to dribble out, somebody doesn't go back door, that's the thing we need. If that happens, we dribble out, somebody doesn't go back door, automatic turnover, other team gets the ball, play. You'd be amazed how quickly the learning happens when there's when your team loses the ball if you don't. That's a constraint. So, last pop quiz question for the day. What kind of constraints are we manipulating for the most part in our practices? Task constraints. Well done. Any questions on any of the stuff we did today? So what I do is I videotape our classes, and I have a practice plan. I will throw both of these up on Canvas at the end of the week, so if you want to refer back to them, they're right there. Check the syllabus for our readings and required media. I hope we have a more engaging discussion next class. See you all Monday. Cool. Do I need to sign anything?
Nah, you can't get
All right. Thank you. Yeah. I think I only have 4 Monday. You guys played the games yet?
Yeah, I played.
How are you doing so far? I mean, I know you guys are a pretty good team, but yeah.
Tough start, we lost.
Who'd you lose to?
Western, they're cool.
Okay, I imagine it's gonna be similar.
Actually, a little bit different.
Oh, look at
I can give you the exact same.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. If you guys could just email me,
Yeah, we'll just-
before the classes you're gonna miss, that's fine with me. It'll be an excused absence.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So, do you think I'm upset with any mistakes? And that's the whole thing. It's supposed to be messy. It's like And this is like, if you want to go, if that's anything you aspire to, whether it's basketball or any other sport, where I think the value in this is like, it's good to make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's good, and then, hey, quick, simple points, like, oh, we didn't go back, okay, great, like, no judgment, just do it next time. Yeah.
Yeah, beginning I can kind of hard respect.
Totally fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, did you have fun today?
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Good. That's the main point.
Yeah.
Is what you think.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of the vibe on these on-court practices. So, like, if you don't want to jump in with the guys, it's 100% fine to not want to do that. I think what I'd like to do moving forward is
You're good, just toss it, You're good.
so like, whatever you guys want to do this stuff, do that. But yeah, just then in class, it's PowerPoint, it's discussion, it's lecture. So, do you think this is a class you might want to continue with? Great. All right. So what I'll do then is I'll email my person in the department. We'll see about what we need to do to get you access. But next class, we're going to be in the classroom that's on. Did you have a copy of the syllabus or access to the syllabus?
Monday, but I don't know where.
Okay. So I'll give you the classroom. Do you have anything to write down or put in your phone or something like that? I can give you the classroom. Yeah. So we're in, if you want to pop a note, it's New Hampshire Hall. Room G10. So it's on the bottom floor, like in the basement, and it's like in the back corner. So if you walk out of this building, when you walk out the front doors, New Hampshire Hall is the building directly in front of us. So it's right there. If you have time, you want to walk through, you can probably find G10 right now. But if you walk directly across this door straight away, if you walk in that door, just wander around on that bottom corner. But yeah, if you have, were there any words I used that were confusing?
Yeah, very quick, but takes time.
So here's the other thing. I videoed it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it up on, so once you get access to the class, you'll be able to download the videos. So if you want to watch back through concepts or different things like that, like, let me know any questions you have. So this is, I'm a total nerd for this stuff. It's my favorite. So happy to answer any questions you have. Welcome. Glad you're with us. What's up, Nathan? Do you go by Nate? Do you prefer Nate or Nate?
I most people call me Nate,
Okay.
but my head coach still calls me Nate because it reminds me of a football. You know, I wasn't in trouble as a kid. You know what I'm saying? You get in trouble when you're a kid.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I get it.
This was so much fun.
You like that today?
So much fun. Are you kidding me?
So, does it make sense how does this compare? Actually, let me turn off the recording before I ask.